Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Here's one that we all should think about and acknowledge. We have too many flaws to be perfect, but we have too many blessings to be ungrateful. Amen. Here comes Kate Smith, and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots, with a Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. What a beautiful day out there. And a good morning to you and yours. I'm Zeb Bell. Welcome to Zeb at the Ranch on this Thursday, February 27th already. My goodness sakes, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, with all the tires to take care of any vehicle, and all the brake service, everything else at all 7 locations. Thank you very much. Along with Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. We're going to be talking to those folks later on this morning. So right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Didn't you just recently have a birthday?
February 27th, 71 years old.
Okay. God bless you. Thanks for calling in this morning. Thank you so much.
Get lunch done.
All right, buddy. Thank you very, very much. Oh, my goodness sakes. Let's go to the weather forecast and find out what it's going to be. It's beautiful out there right now. And K&R Rental brings you the weather. The weather, that's with a W, not an R. Rather. Okay, we've got a new way to do this. K&R Rental... I'm going to put a W in front of everything. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, on the Burley-Paul Highway. They've got the best of tools and equipment for your rental needs. Get a hold of them today, and if you're not sure what you need, call Roger. They'll help you. 678-3122. K&R Rental. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting nice conditions for today and for tomorrow. By the weekend, maybe some snow showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Sunny skies and a calm wind out of the west today. We are expecting a high of 51 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 26. By tomorrow, sunny and mid-50s. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 36. By Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up as gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We are expecting a high of 47 by Saturday night. Chance of rain and or snow showers in the evening. Cloudy skies, low of 27. Those rain and or snow showers could migrate their way towards Sunday as well. Partly sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 40. That's a look at your weather forecast for 7th Rain.
Oh, thank you, Gina, and appreciate it. Brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway, and they've got the rental of tools and equipment for both long and short term. So really, like I said, if you're not sure what you need to finish a project, they can help. Roger and the crew at K&R Rental. Number to call, 678-3122. Today is a big day, and you know why? Because it's Lunch Bunch Day. We're going to be at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. for our Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and not only great food, but wonderful, wonderful people serving us at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. I urge everybody to come on down and be with us at 11:30, and we got a lot of door prizes to give away, gift certificates from Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's. Hey, thank you very much. We just get together and have a darn good time, so come on down to Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland today in Burley at 11:30, Zeb's Lunch Bunch. We'll see you there. Real quick note, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they open the doors at 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. Number to call, 678-0459. They have all your heating, cooling, electrical needs, everything right there at Ramsey's. And they're building up on the 7th decade of serving all of you. So please remember to work with the best. Give them a call or stop in. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. Couple of things we want to get into this morning. And as I've stated, I will not ever back up on opinions on various subjects. Last night, I want to quickly touch on this. One, I watched the presidential news conference regarding the coronavirus. I'm sure that many of you out in the audience probably saw and listened to President Trump. I thought that the president was at his best in fielding and answering questions. I thought he did it with a sincere sense of making sure all the information was provided. And any question that he felt that should be answered by a professional, a doctor, whatever, the president deferred to them, and President Trump handled that news conference, and I thought handling this problem with the coronavirus very presidentially. However, the Democrats, I think, have treated this with a political lowness, very low and despicable, and are playing politics with the situation. When you have people like Elizabeth Warren coming out and saying, well, you got $2.6 billion, why don't you take the money from your racist wall and put it to coronavirus? Totally uncalled for and totally not presidential. Pelosi, Schumer, and Durbin, despicable, very separating and divisive comments at a time that we all should come together in unity to stop the problem, and I think we will. But how, and answer this question for me this morning, how can anyone in this country, regardless of political affiliation, how can you point your finger at President Trump and say, this is your problem, this is your fault, and this is an albatross around your neck in regards to the coronavirus? How? I mean, this problem and this virus started in China. And I would love somebody to call me, and I've said this many, many times, that if there's a person out there that is of democratic beliefs and policy and platform ideals, call me and explain how any of your ilk could point the finger at President Trump and say, this is your fault. How? I don't care if you're going up and down the interstate, if you're sitting in your office or at home at your coffee table. Tell me how this lunacy gets started, that after a virus that was started in China and slowly but surely is creeping its way forward to here, how can President Trump be the poster boy for being at fault? Explain that to me, please. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your phone calls that I hope are coming in, you know, that's something else I want to mention again, that I just do not understand how the left, and right here in this area, I just had it happen recently. They'll call and they'll criticize me on my cell phone for my opinions and beliefs on this program. I've said to many of them, why don't you call on the show and we'll talk on the program? Oh, no, can't do that. And one person even said, somebody might recognize my voice. What cowards. If you have an opinion, step up. Stand behind your opinion. Don't forget Dino's Septic Service, and I want to brag on them a little bit because they deserve it. They are really, really serving all of this area. They've expanded their business for the best of septic tank pumping and backhoe services, septic tanks and drain fields installed, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned, liquid waste removal, all of this and so much more. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast, fair, and very friendly service. We've used them, and believe me, they do the job. With a big truck that pulls in the yard that says smells cargo on the way, the best. Call Dino Septic Service today. All right, callers, it's your turn. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Another thing that I wanted to touch on this morning, I've got a big story in about 10 minutes I want to talk about, but listen to this, and caller, I'll be right there. Chew on this for a minute. 1/6 of all the millennials in the United States. Now, think about this. This is a poll that was taken and a study that was taken by some colleges and universities. And these are not my numbers. These are their numbers. 1/6 of all the millennials in the United States have no clue about finances, financial responsibilities, interest rates, loans, credit cards, nothing. They have not got a clue. And they honestly believe that school, health care, and other issues should be free to them and paid for by the wealthy. That is extremely scary. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. You know, why not blame Trump for the virus going around? They blame him for everything else.
Literally.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I can see that he's done is he's grown the economy, made our country safer with the military, working on the border wall to keep the illegals out. I mean, why not blame him for the virus?
You know, Donna, I was reading a newspaper story yesterday in another paper, the Epic Times, and some of the Democrats are saying that the drop in the stock market, the complete drop in the Dow and everything that is absolutely correlated with the coronavirus, again, all Trump's fault.
Mm-hmm. Yep, precisely. They're worried about the economy. They can't praise him for anything he's done right.
No.
They can't give him credit for anything. And my thought is that this virus was leaked out on purpose. Could be wrong, but I really believe to take him down.
Well, now, let's stop right there for a minute. And caller number 2, don't go away. I'll be there momentarily. I am not going to criticize you on your speculative type opinion because I shared that yesterday on my program. I have the same thoughts and the same worries as far as a possible opinion. And I think everybody has a right to formulate their own possible opinions on this. And until proven wrong or until proven as to where this really started and how, everybody, I think, should be questioning what's going on.
Well, I think so too. You know, all this, I mean, it was leaked in China. Now, China's not our friend. They profess to be, but I don't really think they are.
No,
I don't think any of those foreign countries are. So why not? Wasn't Kerry and Obama, what was that other guy's name? Weren't they just over in China?
The collaborative effort by the left and from John Kerry and through the Obama administration, especially with what they did with Iran and the money for the nuke treaty, supposedly, there's so many insidious things going on behind the scenes that I really would like to have more information. The Freedom of Information Act, I would like to have a guy right here on my program available to turn up certain items so that I could relay them to the audience. I think we've been lied to. I think we've been duped into a feeling of, oh, they can do no wrong for years, especially the 2 terms of Obama, and I think it's time to shed light on a lot of things. But what I really get upset about is that Trump has been under a so-called investigation ever since he started running for the presidency, and yet there are no, tell me if I'm wrong, no confirmed negatives that they can prove.
No, that's why they got egg on their face. That's why they're so obsessed with trying to get anything they can on him and blame him for all the woes in the world. They're going to do it until the day he leaves office.
Absolutely. Well, it's time to go wake up George.
All right, if I have to.
Okay. God bless. Have a good day. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Caller number 2. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir.
My friend.
And that George, he sure tries to get a lot of beauty sleep, but somebody ought to tell him it's not working.
No, as a matter of fact, I think he read the book, but I think he forgot some of the applications.
Before I get started in what's going on today, I'd like to wish my beautiful bride a happy birthday tomorrow.
Okay. And I did that yesterday, or the day before, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I was busy with a customer and probably didn't hear.
You didn't listen to that. I had it on the program on Tuesday, thanks to my lovely bride giving me that note.
Oh.
Yeah.
So your people have been talking to my people and set things up.
Yeah, and they're going to set up lunch today at 11:30 at Denny's.
Okay.
Okay. What's going on in your world today?
Well, I've listened to a lot of people talk about this, and I'm in a feeling that if President Trump was to cure cancer, I've heard this said, that the left would blame him.
Oh, I agree.
Yes. So whatever President Trump does, the left is going to come out against. So if President Trump was to say all of a sudden, let's have open borders, the left would want to build a wall.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way they are.
That's true. Did you see the press conference yesterday? In Wheels, we got a little bit of feedback here, buddy. Did you see the presidential news conference yesterday?
No, I didn't. My wife recorded it, and I haven't got a chance to watch it.
When you watch it, and again, I'll ask you to call me on the air and tell me, hey, if I'm right or wrong. I've got broad shoulders, I can take it. Since Donald Trump has been in office, I will say this, and Deanna and I talked about this, we have never seen him or heard him act more presidential in fielding questions and answering questions at a press conference, and also deferring the answers of those questions to the professionals that knew better. I thought it was a spot-on, excellent news conference.
And that's what my wife said. She said he was on top of his game, and he was in charge, and he's, going to do what's right. And he's always wanted to do what's right, but the left is fighting him every way, like Chuck Schumer. That man's got to look at a snake's belly. That man is so low in his accusations and stuff that the money that President Trump has put forth to help find a cure for this and prevent it, it isn't enough.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Why and under what circumstances is it okay to play politics on various issues? In other words, this is a political season, and we're going into the presidential election in November. A lot of things are fair game for criticism, whether it's the economy, whether it's healthcare, whether it's world relationships, whatever. But don't you think it's a little sleazy and cheesy for the Democrats, more than a little, to use a coronavirus and a spreading worldwide to play politics against this president, I think it's despicable and they need to be slapped in the face.
Exactly. Like I said, they're lower than a snake's belly when they do this, and they show that they do not care for the American people. The only thing they care about is getting rid of President Trump and taking power back for themselves.
I agree.
But this coronavirus, it doesn't go around and say, oh, okay, you're Democrat, we're not going to infect you, we're just going to infect the Republicans. This virus doesn't care who you are, where you live, or what you do. You can get infected by it.
I will say this, and then I'm going to terminate this call because I got a bunch of commercials, and then I want to make room for other people. But Doug, I always appreciate your opinion. I will say this, and I want you to respond to it. I still am of the volition this morning, that we are putting way too much worry and fretting and tearing out our hair over the coronavirus, while at the same time we are seeing literally 30 to 40,000 people that will meet their demise because of influenza.
Yes. Yeah, that's influenza kills a lot of people a year. And yet there's no big deal about it. I mean, you can get your flu shots and stuff, and it will help you through it. But, and corona is just a form of the flu. And what Donna was saying earlier about she thinks that it was turned loose on purpose, if you think about it, President Trump is costing China some money.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump has taken China's economy and put it in the toilet.
There was a person yesterday that called after the program and criticized me for putting forth that thought that it was a leak from a laboratory in China that possibly wasn't a oops, it was on purpose. I think we have to look at all options. We have to look at what gain or what net result would help China, hurt China, or the world. And I think we have to look at all things that are considered reasonable and unreasonable until we get the facts. And until we have to keep asking questions, Doug, and when our questions are stymied, then you end up with more of a net result of what China's trying to purport in the first place.
Exactly. Very, very true, and I challenge that person to call you on the air.
Oh, they won't. I get so sick of these calls, and they'll call and they'll say, listen, and they won't ever address me by my name. They always go, listen, you did this, you did that. And then I always say, well, if you have an opinion like this and you feel that strong about it, why don't you come on the air? And like I said, one of these people said, well, no, somebody might recognize my voice. And I thought, what a coward.
Yep. What's that song? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's right, my friend. Hey, quickly, tell us about the seniors.
Yeah, everybody, let's do what we can for the senior centers. They're the ones that built this country and went through the Depression, World War II, and let's stand up for them because they built this country that we're enjoying today.
Amen. Doug, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. See you at Lunch Bunch.
See you at Lunch Bunch.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Caller number 2, you're on the air. Thank you. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Not a problem, Zeb. I'll try and make this quick because I'm going to be out of service here shortly, but if people really want, if the left says they really want to protect these United States, that they really care, that they're out for the people, well, and against this coronavirus, wouldn't it be common sense to lock up our borders? Because that's where it's going to come in. It's not going to come in by Mary and Sue walking down to the malt shop to get an ice cream. It's not going to come from them. It's going to come from the people sneaking across the border, the people coming in from other countries, and then yet they want to blame the president for the coronavirus coming in. However, they with open arms welcome all these illegal people in without vetting them, without making sure that they're up on their inoculations and all that kind of stuff. They just welcome them in, and you think you're 100% right. The virus was sent here and spread throughout the world as more or less as a weapon. There is no proof of it yet, but you think about it. We've got everybody beat pretty much militarily. The only way they can beat us is with terrorist actions, and this is another one in my opinion, and I shall let you go.
And I certainly do appreciate your opinion. Thank you so much, Raleigh. Have a wonderful day. God bless you, man. Thanks. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to get a chance here right now to really tell you about my friends at Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. You know, they got all the Bobcats. They got them in all shapes and sizes. They got a brand new inventory in at the Barry Equipment and Rental locations. They've got all the Doosan wheel loaders and the excavators, and like I said, all the Bobcats for all the lifting and the digging and the pushing and the carrying. They've got it all. All you need to do is just stop in or give them a call at Barry Equipment and Rental, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Super nice people. 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location for Barry Equipment and Rental. You get a hold of them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi there. It's kind of funny, too, about this virus. The doctor that started warning people about it, it was only a matter of days until he was dead.
Yes.
And that's a little bit funny, too.
Well, let me ask you this. If you were an investigatory official of any country, the United States primarily, and you'd wanted to ask questions, you want to get involved, China still is not coming forward with information or, if you will, opening up their borders to people coming in and studying the virus so that there can be a stoppage of it. They're still putting up stop signs all over to try to curb this coronavirus. And my feelings are that China absolutely deserves a strong slap in the face for the way they have mishandled this whole situation.
That's for true. But it just, from the beginning, this particular doctor or lab technician, whatever he was,
yep,
that started warning about this virus, you haven't heard of any of the other technicians and doctors and stuff that died, but he sure got it and died.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a end of the story type story. Oh, by the way, the doctor that had discovered this virus has passed away, and it was kind of poo-pooed and shunned by a lot of the network newscasts like CNN and MSNBC instead of really doing some investigatory door opening. I totally agree with you. I
didn't want him to get into any news people because they were afraid of what he was going to tell them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that China was shaking in their boots, and I think they put a stoppage on any speech about this problem whatsoever. And I'm on your side. Until proven different or proven wrong, I'm on your side, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
By the way, I'm celebrating my 80th birthday today.
Well, may I please? I do not have your name in front of me, so tell me your name so I can wish you a very happy birthday.
Lily.
Lily, you have been a great listener. You call in on many occasions. I hope that you get a chance to have the biggest, best tasting birthday cake ever. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate you, Zeb.
Thank you very much. What a nice lady. Lily celebrating her 80th birthday today. God bless her. That is wonderful. Wonderful. Calls welcome, and I think we have another one waiting. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. At the Burley Senior Center today, we're having breakfast for lunch.
Oh.
Biscuits and gravy, hash browns, all the trimmings. And tomorrow we're having beef stew.
Well, breakfast.
Only $5 to get to all you can eat.
All righty, and that's at the Senior Center on Overland.
Not to be a senior either.
All right, anybody can come on in and enjoy great eating at the Senior Center on Overland and Burley. Joe, we've got a little problem with your phone. It's got a lot of static on it. I don't know what the problem is, but maybe before next Monday you can check it out a little bit, would you? He's gone. Wheels, you did a good job with the static. I appreciate that. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Right after I do this commercial, I am absolutely, underline that word, going to stand up for the Republican legislators that stood up and voted for common sense yesterday. Stand by. Want to remind you about what's going to happen on Saturday, March 7th at 1 p.m. at the Burley Auction Yard in Burley. It's going to be the Sheridan Ranch, great big 25th annual bull sale. And I'm telling you, no bull, this is the best doggone bull sale around. One of the West's most outstanding offerings of yearling and coming 2-year-old Gelbvieh, Angus, and Balancer bulls. Once again, Saturday, March 7th at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1 p.m. 80 bulls are going to be selling, 30 coming 2-year-olds, 50 yearlings, free delivery up to 300 miles. The best of cattle from Cordell and Patty Sheridan at Sheridan Ranch with their big bull sale coming up on March 7th. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, let me tell you, Elizabeth Warren is making fun of Trump about the wall. Right now, we may be screening everything that comes into our country, but we have no idea. None. What's happening on our southern border? We don't know if some of these people had the virus and they're already making their way up here. You know as well as I do. There's a lot of Hispanic workers around here. Some of them could be headed our direction, and they had gotten it from somewhere else. This is insanity,
Randy.
And nobody seems to give doesn't care one bit. But we do not know who's coming across our borders.
Randy, we have said for...
Go ahead.
No, I want to interject something because you made a good point. I do not understand the incompetency and the lack of intelligence by the liberal left, the Democrats, to say and criticize Donald Trump, our president, for the coronavirus, when at the same time, just like you very eloquently said, the Democrats welcome an open-door policy to our southern borders, to which we have no clue who's coming in. We have no clue about their medical history, vaccinations, whatever. The total incompetency of the Democrats absolutely is showing under a bright light because they are not capable of running any high governmental job.
Absolutely not. And you say, I guess it could be a stretch that it could happen, but, maybe one of the carriers could be here.
Yeah.
It comes straight to Idaho.
Yeah.
We don't know that. Can you imagine if they were come across the border? And in Southern California, there's so many millions of illegals, and there's a concentration of them in Southern California. And if that was to start to spread, and those people are off the grid, they're underground.
Yep.
And it would start to spread, and then let's say their relatives travel up here and. You're an alarmist, Randy. Well, let's hope I'm wrong.
No, don't ever.
I don't want anybody. I don't want it here. Okay, I'm going to change a quick subject.
No, you're not, because I want to finish on what you just started. Hold on a minute.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You are not an alarmist, and I won't take that, and I'll stand up for you. You're a realist that is very concerned about what's being brought into this country, or for that matter, other countries around the world, and there is a fear. The elderly need to really be paying attention to the problem and make sure that they do all they can to stop it with maximizing hand washing and minimizing handshaking and minimizing being around anybody that's sick, coughing, or sneezing. You're not being an alarmist. You're being a realist, and I'll stand behind you.
Well, this is another conspiracy theory, but the Chinese who do not want Donald Trump reelected, they might smile a lot, but they are vicious, and whether or not this is intentional or unintentional, one of the things that keeps coming up is how it's going to affect the economy of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so you say to yourself, my word, is it something that they would be willing to take such a massive risk just in order to try to take out Trump? And so you say to yourself, that would be complete insanity. But these people, and we don't know how China really thinks, and this is going to sound insane, but when they don't have employment or food for their people, it becomes a real issue. And you say to yourself, well, could they wish the death of their own people? Well, maybe. Who knows?
I'm
going to switch over to... The lady said the doctor died, and that's true. There was a 29-year-old doctor in Singapore, a 24-year-old doctor in Singapore. These men hadn't slept. They were under one hell of a lot of strain. And so try to get your rest. It will help your immune system.
That's right.
75% of your immune system is in your stomach. Probiotics, good bacteria. Good bacteria will help to maintain your immune system. 2,000 milligrams of powdered vitamin C. This is what I heard on the radio last night from authorities who know. If you 2,000 milligrams of powdered vitamin C a day will help you to fight it. And there's other things we could go into, but I know you don't have time.
I really think while you're talking, I'm going to start a new segment on Mondays, and it's going to be called Ask Dr. Randy. Thank you very much.
Well, I know a lot about it because without our help, we have nothing.
I agree. Hey, buddy, listen, I got another call waiting, but I do appreciate your call as always. Thank you very much. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, Earl, a couple of thoughts have come across. What's left my mind is growing up, there was what my parents I heard from was black marketeering. And then with this Chinese deal that's been continuously going on for maybe the last 20, 30 years of poor product coming into this country, which throws a crowbar into us out here in the field working. And then on top of that, there's been this bird flu, and then a flu in the pigs over there. Mm-hmm. That are a constant threat to the economy. And I wonder, sometimes I get thinking if there's a connection between those activities and black marketing and its existence today, even after the previous wars in the past.
Well, all I'm going to say is that I will not, underline the word not, rule out any insidious means or methods that could be or may have been employed by other countries that want to see our demise. And I think it's foolish and foolhardy for anyone to sit there and criticize another person's opinion as to what might be the problem when really there are no answers yet.
Well, I just kind of pray to God that people in this country come to their senses that if it's made at home, it's best for all of us.
There you go. There you go. I totally agree with that. And my wife and I have had a policy for years of not buying foreign goods and services, especially any food products. I totally agree with you. I'm a red, white, and blue Buy American supporter, and I would love to see more people feel that way. Earl, up on the mountain, a beautiful day. You're closer to the sunshine than I am. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Hey, I got to get a weather forecast on, and then we're going to take some more of your calls. Please give me a jingle on the landline. And our weather brought to you this hour by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. You know, with hearing loss and a diminishment in hearing, you can also be risking cognitive decline. In other words, it's tied to brain health. So please don't put it off. And if you're, like I said, noticing any diminishment in hearing, call them for a hearing screening today. They can and they will help you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Number to call, 312-0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting nice conditions for today and for tomorrow. By the weekend, maybe some snow showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Sunny skies and a calm wind out of the west today. We are expecting a high of 51 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 26. By tomorrow, sunny and mid-50s. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 36. By Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up as gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We are expecting a high of 47 by Saturday night. Chance of rain and or snow showers in the evening. Cloudy skies, low of 27. Those rain and or snow showers could migrate their way towards Sunday as well. Partly sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 40. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And thank you, Gina. Appreciate that. Brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology. And believe me, they know how to help you and your hearing health. I urge you to call for an appointment today at 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, serving you. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I wish I had more time this morning to devote to this, but I'm just going to give a rough synopsis. I want to say this, that yesterday, Wednesday, the House in the state of Idaho voted on Bill 500, and it passed 52-17. And I absolutely salute our legislators that had the backbone to pass this House Bill 500, and I include in those names Republican Scott Bedke, Megan Blanksman, Lance Clow, Linda Harkin, Clark Kaufman, Lori Likely, Fred Wood, Christy Zito, and thank you for common sense. It was about the transgender men. They say, oh, the transgender women. Let's call it like it is. These are men that want to transgenderize themselves to compete possibly in women's sports. And trans men as girls in women's sports is totally wrong, and I support Representative Barbara Ehard's bill number 500 banning transgender men, and they're not girls, posing as women to play on women's teams. And I'm very glad that our legislators from this area, they had the backbone to stand up for House Bill 500. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I am so glad that you are feeling better. And I agree. I am so pleased that our representatives and senators are passing a bill against transgender teams. I think it's wonderful. The whole mess is ridiculous.
Hey, Linda, let me interrupt you there for a minute and jump in and say this, that as a dad of a daughter that when she was in high school and college was extremely gifted as far as being an athlete, and I will go toe-to-toe with anybody that says that men, transgender men that want to pose as women, should have the right to compete with women and take away the rights and the awards that women could be afforded through Title IX. I find it despicable.
Absolutely. I do too. And I'm glad they're doing something about it.
Absolutely.
What I really called to say was, remember back when we had 9/11, how the country pulled together for a while.
Yes.
We worked together, we pulled together, we cooperated together, and we need to do the same thing with this coronavirus. We need to pull together and do everything that we can for good health, for prevention, and to do what we can to help the government figure out what's going on.
Linda, did you ever stop and think, and I know you have, you're a very sharp lady, that a doctor or group of doctors or scientists, they do not wear on their coats, their white medical jackets, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. They are in the business of being scientists and studying these diseases nonpartisanly so they can make a decision and hope to curb the disease. Why then do the Republicans and the Democrats have to bicker and argue and treat this as a political football? It is not. It's a humanitarian football.
Exactly. And you know, our military puts their lives on the line whenever they go over into a battle zone. And they're doing that right now. But what about our medical people?
There you go.
Who are dealing with this and working with it? They, too, are putting their lives on the line. They have to be very, very careful. But one slip could make a mess, and still it could mean their lives. This thing is going to kill Democrats, Republicans, socialists, communists, whoever.
I think your statement is very well thought out, and I respect it, and I adhere to what you say. I personally, Linda, and maybe I'm way off base, from the people I've talked to in Washington, D.C., the people I've talked to in New York, people I've talked to in California, I'm not at a point where I'm going to say that this is as devastating and as serious as the flu is annually. I think that would be a misnomer and a misstatement if we started comparing right now the coronavirus to the deadly effects of the flu.
Yes, because at this point, we really have that with us. We have the flu with us more than the other. And I expect that we would be fighting the same way to prevent becoming ill.
I agree.
They say wash your hands, be careful where you sneeze, and so forth.
Yeah.
I am really saddened by the fact that the Democrats have to use every unreasoning and unreasonable tactic to fight to get their way.
Yeah. Linda, you know as well as I do.
Somebody like that, I don't think you can. I think you have to vote them out.
Yep. You know as well as I do, Linda, that the statement might sound a little bit overextended in this regard, but this too shall pass. In other words, comparable to what President Trump said yesterday, that this virus, the problems with the coronavirus and the fear of the coronavirus, this too will pass. We've got to be a nation that stands up, addresses the issue, but does not bow or bend to the issue.
Yes, and fear itself can be so disabling.
Amen. Amen.
Fear itself is a deadly disease.
Now, I don't want you to say any more this morning. I want you to rest your voice. I want you to make sure you drink a little bit of honey tea, and then you'll sing the national anthem at 11:30.
I plan on it.
All right. God bless you. Thanks.
God bless you, too.
All righty. What a wonderful lady right there. Thank you, Linda. And calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I just think that right now everybody can sit there and wring their hands in fear, and they can be calling their neighbors, and they can say, well, we've got to stop going here. Well, we've got to stop going there. Well, we can't do this. We can't go to church. We can't. No, wait a minute. Let's not get radical here. Do you share the same fears and want to constrain yourself because of the flu? No, people aren't doing that. And the flu literally kills thousands upon thousands every year. We're not at that level. Let's not jump off the pier into the sand. Okay? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, the U.S. government, Centers for Disease Control, do test scenarios, and they've already tested this one. And I guess this coronavirus is a known thing, of course, which I didn't know. I didn't know that. But they've already ran test, scenarios here in America with this very, situation that is happening. And so, I guess even like your previous caller says, if you're part of the Center for Disease Control and you realize it doesn't pick and choose who it kills whoever it does kill, then you can't play politics with this one.
Well, we shouldn't be playing politics with this one, and I know that there are many, many thousands of confirmed deaths that have come out of the Chinese interior, especially around the city of Wuhan, but let's call that issue out on the table and also address the issue that many or most of those people did not have access to adequate and professional medical care. Randy, I've got to run, but sum it up real quick. I've got to do a commercial real quick. Take care, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate all your phone calls, and I want to remind you about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Okay, let's be blunt. Let's be honest. They are the best at providing the tires you need for any vehicle, whether it's on the farm, your backhoes, or your skid steers, your loaders, whatever, or whether it's your pickups, cars, SUVs. They've got all the tires. They've got all the knowledge about what's going to work best for your situation. They have the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries there. And the best in service. Holy smokes, what more can you ask for? I'm talking about your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane in Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike in Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Pure and simple. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to take a little break, and coming up next hour, I get a chance to talk to the Chamber of Commerce with Penny Main, and then, of course, we're going to have a little visit with Kelly Wiggins over at Greystone Crossing, and then at 9:30, you don't want to miss this guy. He's really, really interesting. Ed Brodo is going to be talking about a brand new book that he has out. Interesting, about a civil war here in America. Don't miss it. I'll be back in 6. Okay, here we go. My robin is back on the window. Honestly, this robin is driving me nuts. He's over here on the window, and occasionally you hear a bump, 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 and he keeps pecking at the window all the time. Anyway, he's got nothing better to do. Mornings up at the ranch brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Stop in and see them today. Don't forget, along with our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And, of course, Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. I want to remind you, too, about our friends over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation that I just mentioned, because we're going to be talking to them next week again on the program for a full segment about how they can help you get back to being you. Not only does Nick Greenwell, the head of all the physical therapists at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, help you with the injuries and the recouping from that and the surgeries, but also they have control over the Elite Fitness Club at 1200 Oakley Avenue in Burley, so you can really start caring for your physical fitness. Boy, I'd get a hold of them today, both locations, and talk to them about taking care of you and your healthy future. Call them at 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Also, our thank yous go out to Joel Heward, his family, and his staff over at Henson Mortuary. You know, they're located right there in Rupert, excuse me, at 710 6th Street in Rupert, and always helping you and your family during a very difficult time when there's the passing of a loved one. They serve with the best possible support and comfort, and always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please remember them. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, and the number 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Quick note, don't forget, coming up on Saturday, March 7th, just a few days away, one of the best ripping bull sales anywhere in the Northwest. Actually, one of the West's most outstanding offerings of yearling and coming 2-year-old Gelbvieh, Angus, and Balancer bulls at the Great Big Sheridan Ranch Bull Sale, 25th annual at the Burley Auction Yard. Coming up on Saturday, March 7th at 1 p.m. Lunch provided at noon. 80 ripping good bulls are going to sell, 30 coming 2-year-olds, 50 yearlings, free delivery up to 300 miles. Oh, don't you miss it. Cordell and Patty Sheridan with Sheridan Ranch and their big bull sale coming up on March 7th. Well, across the river and through the woods, and we stop at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and here's the lovely President and CEO, Penny Main. Good morning.
Bless your heart, friend. It's so great to hear your voice on the radio this morning.
Thank you. That's very kind. It's great to be back home, but I got to tell you something, Penny. And I know this sounds selfish, but Deanne and I really needed that respite away.
I know. You do so, don't you? I know. Yeah, I think we get so busy and we get like we all do around here. You know, we're all working hard and suiting up and showing up, and you just keep doing what you do because that's what you do, right?
Right.
But I think you do need to take a little time to just get away and smell the roses, if you want to put it that way. I can certainly relate to that. So, but welcome home, and glad you had a great time. We did, and of course now I know there's a lot of things that are going on connected to the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. There are, and, just to kind of preface everything, I always say it's a great time to be in business in Mini-Cassia, and, we talk a lot about community events because we're involved in a lot of those. Just so everyone knows, every community event that I mention on your show every Thursday morning, we are supporting chamber members. So whether it's the VFW or tonight, for instance, we have Business After Hours with the Solve Group, or whether it's a night to shine with Grace Church. All of these folks are chamber members, and this is just one of the many ways, the Zeb Bell Show and a variety of other ways that we can really promote your business and the great things that you're doing here in Mini-Cassia. And, we're a referral source, so we connect chamber members with other chamber members, and we're really an advocate for business in this area. So if you're interested in being part of this great team in the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, we would invite anybody to come and talk to us about it. Last year we added, I think, 35 new members, and we're already on point. We've already added, so grateful, 6 new members already for this year, and we've got 7 more referrals, I think, hopefully to shore up within the next couple of weeks. So it's just a great time to be in business and connect with other business members, that's for sure. Let me jump in and say something as kudos to you in the chamber. The night before we left on our vacation, we attended the banquet, and I want to tell you that was not only first class, it was above first class. It was an absolute fun evening, and I want to say thank you. Well, thank you. Now, don't get me choked up here, Zeb, but thank you for that, and thank you for your membership. And I forget to do this a lot, but I just appreciate all you do for us because every time we can get out in front of people, whatever that may look like, I mean, that's really critical and important. And it takes people like you as well to help us support this team and the fact that we're trying to move forward and really do some great things here. But it takes an army, and you're part of that army, and I just want you to know I'm so grateful to you and Deanne and everything you do for us. So, and you sponsored a table, too, that night, so thank you so much for doing that. It was a great time. Well, we had a wonderful occasion, and there's so much more. Did you already mention, I don't think you did, about Business After Hours? It's tonight from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. It's going to be hosted by the Solve Group. Now, if you haven't heard of Solve, they've been around for a while, but they're a specialty advertising company, and they do have a very active office and outreach here in the Burley area. They're going to be hosting that tonight from 4:30 to 6:30 at the beautiful Redox building out on 100 West. There's going to be door prizes and food and beverages. It's just kind of a chance to wind down, if you will, and catch up with all your friends. So we hope to see lots of folks there tonight starting at 4:30. So it's going to be a great fun event. And I understand also that there is another big luncheon looming on the horizon. Yes, March 12th, 12 noon, so that's next week. No, let me rephrase that. That's week after next. That will be at the Drift Inn in Rupert. The Friends of DeMary, a nonprofit organization which supports the DeMary Library. These folks are doing some great things in the Minidoka area, Minidoka County, and for the Friends of for the DeMary Library, and they're going to be offering a special presentation. Again, that's the 12th at 12 noon at the Drift Inn in Rupert. So please RSVP for this event. By the way, we do need a head count. It's almost impossible to believe that the calendar has been flipped forward so fast, but in less than 2 months, you're going to have another Women's Expo. Oh my gosh, we've actually got 2 big events coming up. Our big chamber event, our big fundraiser, our golf tournament is set for June 17th. So we've got the committee meetings going for not only the Women's Expo, which is April 22nd, but also committee meetings getting started for our golf scramble, which is June 17th. So Takes lots of coffee, and Anyway, we're trying to keep moving forward, but it is the annual Women's Expo at the Best Western Burley Inn. We'd love to have you be a vendor. We'll be getting out some more information at some point next week with some specifics on how you can be part of that event. It's called Vision 2020. To coin a phrase, this is kind of a new year, and we've got some great speakers coming in to be keynote speakers at this event, and it's just going to be a fun day, 9 to 4 at the Burley Best Western Inn, so save that date.
One of my very favorite meals of all the meals is breakfast, and I know you're going to talk about a great breakfast coming up.
Yeah, I tell you what, Clark Dixon, Russ Ludlow, Rod Chandler, all of their wives, Gail Dixon, you know all of those guys. They're awesome. They know how to cook breakfast, and so they're going to have an all-you-can-eat breakfast to raise a little money on Saturday, March 14th at their location on Highland Avenue in Burley. Again, 8 to noon. Pricing's great. You don't want to miss it. Later that night, you can go play bingo at the VFW, and I'm told you can win up to $600 from the jackpot.
Wow.
I may be headed to play a little bingo myself because that $600 sounds very inviting. But again, VFW, the proud members of the Minnecaja Chamber of Commerce, so we're so happy to have them part of us.
All right. And by the way, how do people find out how to get a hold of the Minnecaja Chamber of Commerce?
Right. Well, it's really easy to do. You can check out our Facebook posts. We do a lot of those. We'd like you to like us on Facebook. We do offer lots of giveaways and opportunities through Facebook. So be part of that. Check out our website, MinnecajaChamber.com. You're welcome to call us here, 679-4793, or you can just stop by. Typically, we're here unless we're at an event, and there are lots of those. But at any rate, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
You think you're off the hook, don't you?
I know. Darn it. I just thought of that. I was going to have something for you. Oh, well, I'm going to do it next week.
All right. Well, I've got something for you. I've got a slam dunk that you can't possibly miss.
Do not set me up. You say that every time.
I know I lie occasionally. But this actor played Heath Barkley on The Big Valley and then later became the $6 Million Man. And then was also married for a time to the blonde bombshell Farrah Fawcett. Who was he?
Yeah, Lee Majors. I knew that one. Ooh. He's always been my favorite. One of my favorites.
You came through and scored.
I know. Things are looking up. I hope you're keeping score of this.
I am. You're still in the bucket.
I figured so.
Okay.
That's all good. At least I knew that one. Today my day has been made because I made it. I answered the trivia question correctly on the Zeb Bell Show.
There you go. Penny Main, President and CEO of the Minnecaja Chamber of Commerce. God bless you. Thanks for being on the program.
Bless you, friend, and thanks for all you do. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you much.
Bye.
A very pleasant lady that has been a real asset addition to the Minnecaja Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much. Let's see what else have I got cooking here. Oh, I want to remind you quickly about Let's Ride. Oh, yeah. Get your motor running. I'm telling you, whether it's snowmobiles or whether in a couple of weeks we're going to be thinking about four-wheeling. I know I'm optimistic. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got everything right there on the showroom floor at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. I said yesterday, and I think this is great timing to have you consider it. If you already have four-wheelers and you need them serviced for the upcoming spring and summer, get them over there. Call them, make an appointment, 436-4771. That number again, 436-4771. Let's Ride. Absolutely true. They're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they are where the fun is sold, let me tell you. Okay, we have another guest waiting to come on the program, and I really look forward to having this lady on the show. And we're going to be talking to Kelly Wiggins with Greystone Crossing Senior Living. Kelly, if you are there, enter and sign in, please. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. I was just listening to your your conversation over at the chamber. Don't they do a great job?
I went to the banquet the night before we left for Arizona on the 31st of January, and I was very, very honest when I said, I don't think my wife and I have had that good a time in a long time. It was just really refreshing to be there and see how they had that all put together.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening with you over at Greystone Crossing? You know, I keep telling all my friends that whether they're seniors or not, that they need to come by and call and make an appointment to see the outstanding, beautiful living facility at Greystone Crossing. How are things going for you?
Well, you know, your work with us has been working. We've had a couple more stop by and say they heard about us on your show, so we really appreciate that. And some looking for their folks, and one set of folks looking for a place to stay. So we're really excited about that. And we're also excited about spring around here. You know, it's we're kind of tired of the cold and looking forward to when the wind slows down a little bit and few more walks outside and looking out and seeing the changes. So over here we enjoy our time sitting together, maybe just even listening to a little bit of music, or especially our meal times. My husband's full of jokes and trivia that we do at that time, and we've gotten into doing some crossword puzzles at the table, and it's just a real fun time. I got to say that the friendships that are forged and the fellowship that we have are just a highlight around here.
You know, Kelly, let me put you on the spot a little bit, but every business, regardless of whether it's tractor sales or whether it's auto sales or whether it's furniture sales or whatever, or senior living centers, has a personality. What do you think the personality of Greystone is?
Well, it feels like home. We had Harrison Hospice came in the other day. They hadn't seen us, and we're driving by, and they said, you know what, this is so homey. It's not like an institution. Our colors are warm, and it is. It's just a 12-bedroom, 14-bathroom home. We treat it like a home, and we putter around during the day, and we have our meals. And, you know, it's not your flashy activities day in and day out that really kind of exhaust us. It's just more like home. We have a steady pace of the things that we enjoy doing. We take great pride in finding what they enjoy doing, or finding what kind of snacks that they like, the residents like, and then interacting with them. You know, everybody that volunteers and works here, we don't come to work. We come to someone's home to visit and to help. And I would say that that's our personality.
You know, the thing that I want you to stress to people is that this beautiful 12-bedroom home facility at Greystone Crossing, it's so accessible. Explain exactly where you are and how easy it is to get there.
Well, it's accessible in a couple of manners. You know, for the family that comes to visit, we're 2 miles off the freeway, either exit. So you just head off the freeway, go past Love, take your first right at the stoplight on Alfresco Road, also known as 21st Street. Go almost a mile down the street, and we're there on your left. Or if you're coming in on exit 208, take a left there at Walmart and go 1.1 miles. We're right there on your right. And so we're very accessible for family and friends to just pop by and see us here. But for our residents, the facility is accessible. Each of their rooms has a door that goes outside, and that's exciting to them. They're home health helpers, their family, their friends. I can pull up one day and there's 3 cars out there, and they never came through the common area. They went straight to their residence room, just like they were going to their residence home. And we like that. If they want to bring them out through, they do that too. We've enjoyed having some of their family have meals with us and things. So there's that accessibility. Of course, the rooms are barrier-free, the showers, their private space, and then we also have a bathing room. So if they want to soak safely, that's accessible to them to do independently and safely too. And, you know, we call ourselves independent living. We're really kind of semi-dependent living, because the fact that we provide their meals and their snacks and their local their housekeeping and local transportation, it enables these seniors to be independent of full nursing care. And even as their needs increase a little bit, where they need a little bit more help, home health can come right into them here, and Medicare takes care of it. We have an arrangement with a local physician group that, if they needed a house call, they'll come here if it's not the best to take them out in the weather or take them out to an appointment. And so I think when you bring up accessibility, there's just a lot of facets and a lot of faces of that are beneficial to our residents here.
Okay, well, I can't let you go without talking about food, and we're talking about home-cooked meals. Okay, Kelly Wiggins, lay the menu out on the table for me.
Oh, the menu. Boy, this week we've had chicken Alfredo or shrimp Alfredo because one of the residents liked shrimp, so I kind of made a special one there. Oh, our lemon meringue pie, bread pudding, chocolate no-bake cookies. We love our desserts. We love our bread around here. We're kind of bigger on potatoes than pasta, but we have both, green salads and things. The main thing is they're home meals. We're kind of a meat and potato generation, and so we've got our portions. We like our gravy, and we just like the time and the fellowship that's around the table. If you ask one of our longest-term residents here what her biggest complaint, that, here I am advertising, I'm saying she's got a complaint. Well, you know what it is? It's portion sizes. They continue to say she just gives us too much food. But it's kind of a joke, because then the next thing she says is, but I eat it. And so we like our food around here, but especially our desserts. I haven't made a peach cobbler since we talked last yet, so you haven't had an invite. But when that comes up, I'll be sure and let you know.
However, you did touch on the subject of saying bread pudding. Now, I want to also have you categorize, along with the peach cobbler, that Zeb likes both, and so the call will be accepted when you make the ring.
Well, I think you need to come by then Monday. We're having bread pudding on Monday.
Oh, boy. Well, listen, if people want to take a tour, how do they go about seeing the facility?
Well, you can always pop by, but no, we're not always here. The residents, they'll answer the door if they know someone's coming. But we're here most of the time, but not always, so it's best to call first. Our number is 650-4979. I got to make sure I did that right. Yeah, 208-650-4979. And we'll be sure that we are here when you pop by. That's probably the best way, but you feel free to call us anytime as well. And you can also go to Greystonecrossing.com. There's a video tour there, and you can communicate to us through that if you'd like to as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been honored to have them on as a sponsor and advertiser on our program for quite some time. Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. And we've been honored with the presence of Kelly Wiggins this morning. Number to call, 650-4979. Thanks, Kelly. God bless you, and I'll look forward to the bread pudding or the peach cobbler.
Okay, you bet. Have a great day.
All right, thank you much. Nice people. Her and her husband. I'm telling you, I've been there. I've looked at it. Deanna and I have both taken the tour. A beautiful location. Give them a call. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Hello, Todd. How you doing? And the crew over there at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. With all the life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and so much more for you and the protection of your family and your business. I urge you to call and make an appointment. Come on, pick up the phone, dial the number 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. They are very accessible and devoted to serving you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. You get a hold of them today. Yes, today is Lunch Bunch Day. And we're going to be over at Denny's restaurant at 11:30. Now, come on. You've still got time to get prepared, be a part of our little festivity. And we want to say thanks to Denny's restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley for all they do. Wonderful staff, and all the great food. And then we give away a whole bunch of gift certificates. Why, we appreciate Walmart and Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's. Oh, come on. Be a part of a lot of fun. And that's Zeb's Lunch Bunch today at 11:30, and that's at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. We will see you there. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and I hope I say this man's last name correctly. I don't want to offend him. He's a former United States Marine Corps retired. Ed Brodo, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, and you said it perfectly.
Well, for once, I got things right this morning. I'm off on a new railroad track. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Now, you've got a book out that I have been really anxious to talk about, and it's called Trump's Turn, Winning the New Civil War. Well, tell me, I don't want to see another civil war like we had in the 1800s, but where are we right now, and why did you title your book Trump's Turn, Winning the New Civil War?
Okay, good question. People think that the Civil War has to be a war of bullets and people have to die. The new war is a war of ideologies, not a war of bullets. And the two ideologies are very clearly at odds with each other. On the one hand, you have conservatives who believe in the Constitution and the rule of law and believe in America. And on the other hand, you have progressive liberals who want to turn this country into a socialist paradise, like the Soviet Union. So that's really what the Civil War is. And it has nothing to do with geography. You know, it could happen. I have a friend who's a conservative. His wife is a liberal, and there's a war going on in their house, in their bedroom. So it's quite a change for us. But it's there, and there's no denying we're in a war.
Ed, let me ask you this question. I'm an old man. I'm 72 years old. And in my lifetime, I never thought that we would be at this stage in American politics and the status of American running for president, etc., to where we have seen so much mud thrown at the wall. We've seen such a divisive division in this country between conservatives and liberal thought, and also the emergence of trying to transplant and dig under the Constitution and capitalism and replace it with idiocy of socialism. Are you as surprised as I am?
Well, I'm totally surprised. I was really never a political person until 2008. And what happened was a bunch of people that I knew found out that I wasn't going to vote for Obama, and they called me a racist. And that really got under that pissed me off. And that's when I started writing political books. Things have changed. Things change, things change all the time, and this is one of the changes that we're just going to have to get used to this, because it's going to be with us for some time now.
When you were studying and doing the preparation for this book, Ed, what did you find or what did you uncover that really shocked you the most about the changes in America?
Well, what shocked me the most was the fact that we elected a president who hates America. That was Obama. He hates America. And that's very hard for me to get used to, that idea that we have a president who hates the country. But he did. And when he said he wanted to change, he wanted to make fundamental changes to America, he wasn't kidding. He was talking about changing the basic values that have made this country what it is. He was not in favor of free speech, of the due process. He wanted, instead of the meritocracy that we have, he wanted to have identity politics. He went around the world telling everybody what a terrible country we are. That blew my mind.
Let me ask you this. How much, in your opinion, do you think that Obama still has as a covering power today? How much do you think he really has power over the other Democrats and perhaps the entirety of the Democratic Party?
Well, I think he has a lot. I think his legacy is still out there, even though Trump has done a lot to erase it. But he has managed to influence a lot of young people. And the influence is really coming in the universities. The universities are now all, the faculties are almost all leftists and liberals. And they're indoctrinating the kids to believe that socialism is not only acceptable, but desirable, which is crazy.
Well, along with the word crazy, you've opened the door for me to throw another name at you, because I'm absolutely shocked that this man I'm going to mention has as much power with the American public as he seems to right now, and that's Bernie Sanders. I'm scared to death of that old man. What are your thoughts?
I'm with you on that. First of all, I don't accept that he has the power that you might think. Just because he won a couple of states doesn't. We have to see what happens next Tuesday when Super Tuesday. I think if you just listen to him and watch him, the man is off his rocker. He wants to, the things that he wants to do. He wants to give everything away. It's going to cost us $60 or $90 trillion. He has no idea how to pay for it. The man is totally irresponsible. Plus, he loves dictatorships. He thought that Castro was okay. He was a good guy. It was okay that he was murdering all his people. It was okay because he had a literacy program. I mean, this is insanity when you think about it. So I think the man is really should be in a straitjacket.
How do you think, Ed, and I've got my own opinion on this, but I'd like to hear yours, how do you think the Democratic Party, and let me preface this, I think the Democratic Party is on the verge of falling in the Grand Canyon and they can't get a ladder big enough to climb out. I think that if they allow, and I'll underline that word, allow Bernie Sanders to be their nominee, you're going to see a total fragmentation of the Democratic Party. Do you agree with me or not?
I agree with you totally, and here's what I think. I think that the party is not going to allow him to be the nominee. Now, remember what they did to him and when he was up against Hillary. They sabotaged him. I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they want Bloomberg to be their nominee. In the debate last week, Bloomberg did not qualify for that debate. They had a rule that you had to have a certain amount of individual contributions. Bloomberg didn't make it, so what did they do? They changed the rule so he could get in there. They want him. They don't want... They realize that if Bernie is the nominee, that's the end of the Democratic Party. So I think we're going to see some really interesting things happen in the next few weeks.
Yeah, but conversely, though, Ed, and my feelings about Bloomberg are virtually, here's a little man with a lot of money and not much common sense, as he's been a proponent of cutting back on private automobiles, cutting back on energy, making sure that a one-size-fits-all health care program, etc. That man and his influence with money scares me almost as much as Bernie Sanders. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that is true. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that a man who is that successful in business would be so anti-business. And I think he's just an egotist. I think he doesn't really have a clear platform. His platform is, I'm successful, so I want to be president. And he's he's trying to buy it. You heard the gaffe he made in the last debate where he said, I bought the Democratic representatives in the House, and he did.
Yeah.
And now he wants to buy the rest of us.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. It's very scary.
Well, Ed, there's another segment to Bloomberg that I absolutely hate, and I will use that word hate, is his despicable comments that he made about farmers and ranchers in this great United States, farmers and ranchers that feed the world through their intelligence and integrity on knowing how to grow and produce crops to feed the world, and he minimized their value and said basically they weren't very bright because it doesn't take much to dig a hole, plant a seed, and watch it grow. Bloomberg, as far as I'm concerned, is a 5'3" idiot.
Well, for a supposedly intelligent man, that was a very stupid comment. And a lot of his comments have been ill-conceived. He really needs to get another group of people advising him because he's coming off as less intelligent than he really is.
Let me talk to you a little bit about the gullibility of America. I'm sure that when you were writing this book, Trump's Turn, Winning the New Civil War, this had to come up on numerous occasions because I've never seen anything like what's happening in this country. The acceptance of, well, no responsibility. If you go to USC or Harvard or Yale, oh, well, don't pay the bill. Let somebody else cover it. Let the American taxpayer pay for it. There is a gullibility accountability and a lack of responsibility in this country by this next generation. I've never seen this before.
Well, you can thank Obama for that. You can thank Obama. Obama has turned everything upside down. But yes, I think that the American public has been incredibly gullible. I even wrote a book about it called In Lies We Trust. And in Trump's turn, I talk about it a lot, that we need to, the public needs to be better informed. Because if they're not, they're gonna fall for the lies that are being put out there. And people that watch CNN and read the New York Times, all they're getting is propaganda. It's just a lot of propaganda. And we need to upgrade the level of understanding of our voters.
Absolutely. Ed, we've got a caller with a comment or a question. Caller, go ahead, please. You're on the air. Thank you.
I had a gentleman talk to me the other day, and he said to me, he says, I've heard that if you were able to get in to see Donald Trump at the White House, he would let you in. He would talk to you in a very congenial manner. He would treat you with respect. You knew he cared. You knew he liked you. He was friendly, intelligent. Donald Trump's IQ is high, and they talk about him being dumb, which is a joke. Of course, it's all a smokescreen. But then you got, and then it's just like his, if he came to Idaho, Donald Trump, I would go to the rally if I got in, and he would pack Taco Bell Arena or whatever it's called, 12,000. I mean, it would be insane. And it would be fun. And we really do think that he actually cares about us and likes us and realizes what we do is a unique thing no matter what it is we do. And then you've got the arrogance of Bloomberg. He is an elitist, arrogant jerk. And it's unbelievable. Hey, listen, I got to go. Thanks.
Respond to the caller, Ed, if you would, please.
Well, the caller is correct. Trump is an extraordinary man, and in Trump's turn, I talk in great detail about why the left is trying to make him out to be something other than what he is. They call him a racist, they call him sexist, they call him all kinds of names because they don't have anything else to go with. But he has turned this country around. He's turned the economy around. He's changed our perception in the world. They respect us now around the world. He's an amazing individual. I don't think anybody else right now has the ability to do what he's doing, to change the 8 years of Obama. The reason I call the book Trump's Turn, Obama had 8 years to screw this country up, and now it's Trump's turn. And he is putting the train back on the rails.
Let me ask you this, Ed, and the book is already in print, and it's for sale, and then all of a sudden, up comes the coronavirus, and the problem with the coronavirus stemming out of China and then encroaching like cancer all over the other parts of the world. How much of this coronavirus scare, in your opinion, is going to possibly hurt Trump on the re-election?
I don't think it's going to hurt him. Did you hear his press conference yesterday? He was terrific.
Yes.
The man showed how bright he is. He's on top of the whole thing. And his administration has done a tremendous amount from the get-go to respond to this coronavirus. And all of the statements being made by the left that he isn't, as Schumer said, he's not doing enough, those are lies, total lies. He's on top of it. I think that, I also think this whole thing is being blown out of proportion. I don't think the coronavirus is going to turn out to be as bad as they're making it out to be. I think it's just another kind of a flu. And, people have died from the flu. So I think it's very important not to get hysterical about this and to have confidence that the Trump administration is taking care of it.
When you use the word hysterical, Ed, you know as well as I do that the liberal left has employed insanity when it comes to climate change and the Chicken Little theory that we're all going to burn up in 10 years, and then employing a young girl from Sweden, Greta Thunberg, to speak to the UN and condemn all of us for not getting rid of our cars and living in caves and burning buffalo dung. What are your thoughts about climate change and the hysteria the left is trying to employ?
Well, I addressed that directly in Trump's turn. I've done a lot of personal research on this subject, and I believe the evidence indicates that the whole thing is a hoax. This Greta Thunberg is a joke. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. We have 31,000 scientists who've told us that there is no such thing as man-made global warming. If we were to do everything that Greta wants us to do, it would change the climate 1 degree. It's all, the UN started it. People like Al Gore picked it up, and he's made a fortune off of this thing. But it's a hoax. It's a giant hoax. And people need to read Trump's turn, because I explain the facts, and I show how the UN turned this thing into hysteria.
One thing I'd like you to do, I've only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, but I want you to speculate a little bit and prognosticate, if you will. Let's assume that Donald Trump gets reelected again in November, and I hope for the sake of this country he does. But with the left and all the demonic means and ways that the Democrats have gone after him since even before the 2016 election, what do you think's going to happen if he gets reelected? I mean, these people just seem to have more shovels and dig deeper holes.
Well, that just goes with the territory. I mean, he has to deal. Yeah, he's unique in a sense that he loves all this stuff. He loves the attacks. He thrives on it. It's amazing. I don't know anybody else that would react the way he does. So the attacks are going to continue. He's going to deal with it, and he's going to get his agenda done. I'm not worried about that at all. And that's another thing I talk about in Trump's turn is, the source of all of these attacks on Trump, and why it really relates to the fact that they're all scared to death, because he's exposing all of the corruption in Washington.
Absolutely.
And it goes both parties, Democrats, Republicans. These people have been making money off of our backs. Corruption, unbelievable, and he wants to drain the swamp. So they're all running like scared rabbits and attacking him.
If you could be, in your studies you were talking about in your book, The Left's Assault on Free Speech and Individual Rights, let's assume that all of a sudden you were the Secretary of Education in this United States. Ed, we need to have some drastic changes. We need to have some drastic policy and information changes that are being applied to our students. What would you do to try to turn this bus around?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I would do. I would make government federal assistance to colleges and universities, I would make it contingent on each college and university committing to diversity in their faculty. Because the faculties of universities right now are like 20-1 liberal to conservative. I would force them to hire conservative professors. You try to get a job at Harvard right now, if you're a conservative, forget it. So I would use the power of the purse to force them to have some diversity of ideas in colleges and universities.
Absolutely. Ed, tell me and everybody else how they can get a copy of your book, Trump's Turn, Winning the New Civil War.
Best place to go is Amazon, Amazon.com.
All right. Well, I want to tell you what a treat it's been to have you on the program, and I certainly hope that you'll consent to coming back in the future.
I hope you'll invite me. Thank you.
All right, sir. United States Marine Corps retired, great author Ed Brodo, and his new book, Trump's Turn, Winning the New Civil War. It is a must-read. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. I got to get a copy of that book myself as soon as possible. It sounds really, really interesting. Right now, really interesting. We'll take some more of your calls and also have the weather forecast. And the weather brought to you this hour by Phillips Oakes, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Man, these are really, really nice people. I mentioned the Minnecash Chamber of Commerce Bank we went to the night before we left, and I'll tell you what, they are so professional, so nice and helpful, and Phillips Oakes, Goodwin, Crane and Company, at this time of the year, especially tax time, you'd better get a hold of them today. They've been providing accounting services to the Minnecash area for well over 50 years. With the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, saving, retirement planning, all of this and so much more. And offices located in Burley and Rupert to serve you. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting nice conditions for today and for tomorrow. By the weekend, maybe some snow showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Sunny skies and a calm wind out of the west today. We are expecting a high of 51 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 26. By tomorrow, sunny and mid-50s. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 36. By Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up as gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We are expecting a high of 47 by Saturday night. Chance of rain and or snow showers in the evening. Cloudy skies, low of 27. Those rain and or snow showers could migrate their way towards Sunday as well. Partly sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 40. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. And I urge you, really, I know these folks. I trust these folks. I work with these folks. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The best of accounting services to the Mini-Cash area. They can and they will help you, your family, and your business. Get a hold of them today with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Oh, my. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, I want to highlight that we're going to have lunch bunch today at 11:30. I'll be leaving just a few minutes early. Will's going to play a tune or two while I can get on the highway and get down there to Denny's restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. And we urge you to come on down. We're going to, again, I want to mention one more time, Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of them providing gift certificates as our door prizes. Don't miss it. Come on down. Enjoy the great food, the camaraderie at Denny's at 11:30 today for Zeb's Lunch Bunch. All right, give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Next week, we have got a full slate of really, really interesting people coming on the program to start off our month of March. Wow, people like Dan Perkins, nationwide known political analyst, Curtis Ellis, again, a nationwide political analyst, and then I want to highlight again, Richard Manning and Frosty Woldridge will both be on the air, and that's on Monday, don't forget that. And then every day next week, we've got some of the top-notch people that are in the news right now regarding not only politics but also this coronavirus and other aspects. So don't miss a minute of it right here on Zeb at the Ranch. We appreciate your listenership and, of course, all your comments. I want to remind you that if you are hungry right now, and I got to tell you, I've been on this diet, and I stayed true to my diet while I was off for 3 weeks. I mean, I had teeth marks in my steering wheel, even though I was so hungry. But if you're hungry like I am and starving to death, I know some great places for you to go for lunch or dinner. Listen to this. AC Drive-In. 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, boy. All the delicious fish burgers and shrimp and fries and the fish and chips and the burgers, the famous Farmer Brown burger, all of this and so much more at AC Drive-In. You better believe it. They've been celebrating, I think it's over 57 years of serving the community at 601 East Main in Burley, the AC Drive-In. Well, how about Taco Bandito? Head on over there, 2301 Overland in Burley. Holy cow, now they're doing the DoorDash. You know, you can go online and order and delivered right to you. And it's also a great place to go for your morning coffee and then have with that a breakfast burrito. Scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce on a tortilla shell. What a way to kick off the day. All of this and more at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Move over down at 1 and 2 locations of Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And right now, starting tomorrow on Friday, listen to this. Listen to this. Corn dogs and burritos only $1.29 each. Whoa! Don't miss that. And fish and shrimp and halibut baskets for Lent, and they've got great burgers and especially nice people serving you at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Last but not least, let's not forget Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And they've got those buffalo burgers, knock your socks off good. And, of course, they've got the cheesy broccoli spud and cupcakes every week, a different flavor every week. What a great place to go if you don't want to cook supper at night. Just go on over there to Steve-O's, sit down, and enjoy great dining with friendly servers and a dedicated staff. Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And those are some great places to go if you are hungry and starving to death. And I am. Next Monday, I got to give a plug here and a shout out to our dear friends at Handy Truck Lines, and they've been serving businesses in Idaho and the surrounding states for a long time. You can depend on Handy Truck Lines. They deliver. They also sponsor our Idaho Legislative Update. Now, that's at 10:30 on Monday, and I believe that we're going to have Speaker of the House Representative Scott Bedke on our program next Monday, and I've really got a lot of things to ask him about as far as the different issues that are being addressed at the legislative session and other topics of information. So tune in, ask questions. That's at 10:30 next Monday. The Idaho Legislative Update, sponsored by Handy Truck Lines. Wheels, are you going to be at Lunch Bunch?
To be honest, sir, I know I told you yesterday that I plan on being there, and I do. Thing is my mom just had some things hung up at work this morning, so I'm hoping that she can make it as well.
Well, we certainly look forward to you, your mom, or your grandma, now all of you folks making it, and I want to give you a lot of credit, young man. You're doing a really, really good job over there at the studio, but don't let it go to your head.
Definitely. I promise you I won't. And like I said, me and you talked before you came back, and I'm glad that the show went well while you guys were gone.
Gina and Sharon did a great job, but you're kind of the quarterback running the controls over there, so thank you very much for all you did.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. Now, we're going to go to the CBS News momentarily, and then we're going to come back next half hour, and we've got Debbie Critchfield coming on with the Cache County School Days. We're going to be talking to Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, and then we get a chance to talk to a cowman that really knows bulls, and that's Cordell Sheridan talking about their 25th annual bull sale coming up on March 7th. So don't go away, everybody. We got a lot left to go on Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, take it away. Okay, here we go as we roll into the last hour this morning. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor. We really appreciate your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for all your vehicles. Don't forget, too, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Want to remind you, too, about our friends Lon Hardy and Sharon Wilmot, and you've heard me on this program talk about 7K Metals. I am thoroughly involved in kind of building my own financial security and future through silver purchases, and you can have those silver purchases sent right to your home. Absolutely, this is a great saving opportunity for you and a valued treasure for your loved ones in the future. I urge you to find out more about financial security through silver. Contact Lon Hardy at 312-8699 or Sharon Wilmot at 430-3259. Don't forget 7K Metals and silver for your future, and tell them that I told you to call. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and I am honored to have this lady on my program, and she is the Cache County Schools Communications Officer, a lady that has been very, very diligent in serving education in the state of Idaho. Debbie Critchfield, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome home.
It is great to talk to you. It's great to be back home, but I would be amiss if I didn't say my heart is still down in Arizona.
Well, I don't think anyone will fault you. better weather conditions, that's for sure.
Debbie, you mentioned on the information sheet that you sent me about a topic that I got to admit, it raised my eyebrows because I'm not that much aware of how big the problem here is in Magic Valley. But are there really large numbers or numbers at all of homeless students in Cassia County schools?
There are, and for Cassia, we have about 120 students that are designated as homeless. Now, that isn't something that we come up with on our own and say, well, this is our definition. There is a federal definition for that, and I believe that that's correct because you want to have some uniformity in how that's identified. And so according to those descriptions, and it could be family students living in a shelter, we've had students living in cars. We have multiple families living in the same home, loss of jobs, a variety of life issues that lead families and students into places where it's either temporary housing, a hotel, for example, or, certainly we don't want to see students in cars.
I'm shocked. I really am. I'm shocked. And once these stories of various individuals living, i.e. in cars or elsewhere, and they're found out, what kind of action is taken or what's being done?
Well, certainly the school district works their primary focus, and as a school, you want to keep boundaries. We're not trying to interfere with parental decisions, but you do work with parents to make sure that students have access and are able to get to school. We know that, and research, it's a worldwide indicator that poverty is the number one indicator or influencer of being able to finish school and success, in your school career and beyond. And so identifying where and who those students are kicks in and triggers some things on the school side to say, all right, are we making sure that the student can get to school, to and from school safely? Certainly there's other things that happen at the school as far as making sure that meals are provided, breakfast and lunch. And beyond that, there are things that we would, of course, like to help with, but because of resources and other restrictions, we're not able to do. One of the biggest issues that we see with our homeless population, or I guess a restriction of a help, is when it comes to a sick child. Parents won't have the resources to, for a cold or the flu or their tonsils or whatever that is. That, after so many days, the student hasn't been at school, and you get a hold of the parent. Well, they've been pretty sick, but they don't have the resources and sometimes the transportation to get their child to medical care. We also have circumstances with students who, for a variety of reasons, are with a single parent trying to get to a shelter, and they need somewhere to stay overnight. We have generous folks in our area that we can call and say, hey, we need $50, $75 so that we can put a family up overnight while they're working some things out. It's interesting how, as to your point of not being aware, that we are different from a lot of the states, particularly the more urban states in the country, but we have a lot of similarities as well when it comes to life challenges for students.
I am, honestly, you really hit me right between the eyes when you mentioned over 100 students that you knew of that were basically under the title headline of homeless. But when you talk about personal hygiene and you talk about health issues and you talk about home, heat, showers, clean clothes and everything, I mean, how are they adjusting, or are they?
It's an ongoing process. Our school, we have 2 school district nurses, and they are involved not only with our homeless children, but with all children that need help. And again, to your point of having other types of just day-to-day living needs, how do we help them solve some of these problems so that children can show up with clean clothes and are healthy and well and have access to those types of things? This is a huge effort and a part of what schools do every day.
We have a caller with a comment, and normally I don't interrupt you, but I am in this case with this caller's comments. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have a question. I know of a cinder block duplex, and it's been lived in one side of it all winter. It was last winter. But we had a family with some kids in the other side of it, and I know that the school district helped them move out. I'm just wondering, you're just talking about rules. Why can't the kids live in the other side of it? What's going on there?
I'll have Debbie respond to that on the air, sir. Thank you very much. Debbie, if you would, please.
I don't know that I am the person that can speak to the actual living conditions. That goes beyond, what the school can influence. I'm assuming that there are codes and with the county and the city and so forth as to what can be inhabited. We respond and try to address once we know that students have been displaced from a permanent setting that meets whatever the living standards are. At that point, we try to engage. But I think that could be a good question for the county or the city.
Absolutely. Debbie, you mentioned, and the number was over 100, but what about the ones that you're not aware of? And here we are with basically almost 3/4 of the school year gone by, and in the winter months, I'm sure there's some that probably have gone undetected under the radar.
Correct. One of the efforts that we make, and one of the responsibilities that school districts have throughout the country, is to help identify changes for students. Things change, things happen, and you may have a student that the entire year had a stable living environment and the economic resources were there, and mom or dad loses a job or things happen. And so with administrators, we have our Jeannie Allen here in our district is the lady that's charged with pursuing this and addressing it. She works closely with administrators to make sure that if there are changes, we're aware. And this is not to be intrusive. This is not some type of government-controlled, although the government helps provide resources when they've been identified. But this isn't to try to go in and make determinations of whether or not someone is successfully providing for their child.
No. I'm glad to hear you say that, because I was going to ask you a question related to what you just mentioned. But, when you find out that a child really doesn't have a home, quote-unquote, environment, a place to study in the evening or do their homework or make sure that they're warm and make sure that they have a home-cooked meal, I don't find it intrusive at all if people are trying to offer assistance and find out what can be done or what is being done.
Right, and we would agree with that. This isn't to supplant what parents are doing or make a judgment that you're not a good parent, therefore we're going to do this. This is to help parents be successful. Parents, by and large, want to support their children and want to feel good about those efforts. How do we help that? Here's an example. We have a local women's shelter. Above a certain age, you cannot have male children in that shelter for the obvious reasons. And we've had times when you have a mom with minor children who need to stay at the shelter, but their son was aged out of being with other children. What do we do? How do we help them stay in school, have meals while the mom is trying to deal with the challenges that she has? And so these are things that we don't talk about a lot, not because it's anything that's a secret, but we spend the bulk of our time talking about wonderful opportunities for students and so forth. But this is a real issue in our town.
It absolutely is an eye-opener for me, and I would be amiss if I didn't ask you about another subject that could be related to this. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm sure that all school districts probably are talking this morning, all school districts across the country, as to what they may or may not do or attempt to do regarding the coronavirus as opposed to the flu. Are there any plans, or has there been any discussion?
Lots of discussions, and just yesterday and today we have a variety of informational items going out to parents and to staff on what direction we've received, not only from the Center for Disease Control, but also from Idaho's own Department of Health and Welfare, and what our protocols are, what it is that we always recommend, and how to be safe not only from the coronavirus as far as contraction or spreading of illness, but the same smart health habits apply: washing your hands, coughing into your elbow, staying home when you're sick. So the first thing I think is the prevention side, that parents and staff, if you're not feeling well or if you've had a fever, follow the guidelines that we would have for anything during the cold and flu season. Now, we also have direction from the national centers on how to address students that come into our district. I'm aware of a family that had been living in China, moved to Pocatello just a couple weeks ago, and the guidelines were quarantine for 2 weeks, and then that child is able to enroll into school. So we do have instruction, recommendation, guidelines, etc., but fundamentally we're communicating with parents to use the same common sense health precautions that you would for any season.
When something like this happens, and I don't know if this is a first of its nature while you've been in this position as communications officer, but are you aware of how well this is being formulated and how much the United States is on top of this? What are your thoughts?
I'm probably like everybody else and have been paying attention to the news. I watched the President Trump's news conference last night, hearing from the national experts, and so we're using that information as well as what our state is telling us. We certainly don't want to put it aside and say, we're in the mini-cash area, we don't need to worry about that. But we also don't want to overly be fearful, and so let's be careful. Let's use the same precautions that we would anytime someone is sick, and then have a plan to address it as it comes to us. And I'm feeling very comfortable and confident on where we are.
If parents have questions at all about this issue, or they want to talk about homelessness and possibly somebody they know or want to help with the implementation of aid to that family or whatever, is there a number for Cassia County Schools that they can call and talk to?
What people can start with me, and then I can connect them where they need to go, and that's 878-6600 is the central office. I'll point out that we've got quite a bit of information on our website regarding the coronavirus, the communication we're putting out to parents, the exact letter that we received from the state, and a link to the national CDC. We hope that people they can look there, they can talk to a school nurse, and any healthcare provider or health professional. I think we're all kind of learning as we go, but it's good that we're talking about it.
Debbie, is there anything I missed in regards to the homeless issue and or the coronavirus issue that you would like to make out in front of the audience here this morning?
I think I would just add on the homeless issue that there is some federal support that comes for students. It isn't much, but it's very prescriptive. And so if people feel like, they want to contribute to, there is a fund, a school fund that's monitored by school fiscal people for healthcare issues, a doctor, a $50 visit to the doctor or an overnight stay at a hotel or something like that. Get a hold of me and I'll connect you with the gal who's in charge of that.
Okay. I found this to be one of the most informative meetings that we've had on the radio, and I really salute you, Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, for the job you're doing. And if there's anything that needs an update, don't hesitate to call. We'll make room on the program.
I appreciate that, and we will probably want to check back in as far as the virus as that develops and we know more.
Very good. Debbie, thank you. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Thank you much.
You too.
Wonderful lady. And, when you talk about somebody that's really involved in education for the state and knows what's going on, I absolutely salute her for the job that she's done. Debbie Critchfield, thank you very much. Let me see. I think what we will do with my old buddy Wheels, we'll find out if he has Jeff from Lee's Furniture on the phone. Is he ready to go?
Yes, sir, he is.
You are Johnny on the spot this morning, Wheels. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we go to, he's got a boy by the name of Waterbug that is one of the best defensive players I've ever seen, and he can scat like a water bug. And this is Jeff from over to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. And Jeff covers the same territory within the store serving everybody. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good, Zeb. How are you today?
Oh, if I was any better, I couldn't stand it. What's going on at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More?
Well, I was looking forward to this phone call this morning. I have some interesting things that your listeners may be very interested in knowing. We have just received several new things in conjunction with the regular merchandise that we carry. As many people are aware, we carry a huge selection of floor covering in stock. We carry carpet, vinyl, luxury vinyl plank, tile, wood, all of it. And we have just recently received several new shipments of floor covering in the store. And these are some great specials on carpet that many of them run 50% off. And in addition to that, the luxury vinyl plank, which is the waterproof flooring that you hear so much about, we carry that in stock, and we can also order it, and we have some significant discounts on this. And we carry it in every style, color, and size that you can imagine.
Boy, this is the time to beautify and comfortize your home, and it sounds to me like you've got some really, really low economical prices for the public.
Yeah, we actually ordered a number of specials direct from the manufacturer that we got like some overstock on. Many of these are going to start around 79 cents a foot. But we have everything in between. We've got the premium if you want to come in and be able to pick out exactly what you want and need, and everything in between. But the advantage is, Zeb, is where we carry it in stock, is you can come in and purchase it, and if you're short on material, we have more. Or if you have extra, return it for full credit. We carry all of the accessories you need, whether it be adhesive, trims, everything. So you can begin a job and finish a job without any issues.
Absolutely. What about new shipments of recliners and sofas and love seats?
I was hoping you'd ask. We actually have, Zeb, a number of new recliners that just arrived, and these chairs are full-size men's chairs starting at $299. We've got power chairs, women's chairs, leather chairs, lift chairs, snuggler chairs. We have reclining sofas, love seats, sectionals, and we've got them in every color. And we do carry one of the largest selections in stock in the Valley, and we can usually do same-day delivery.
A snuggler chair? Please explain that to me.
Well, if you want somebody to sit beside you or sit on your lap, you got just a little bit extra room.
Oh, I see.
Even if it's a dinner.
I see. The American public, I think, is making a trend back to having family dinners together, which means you've got some great, great furniture for the dining room.
Yeah, in fact, we just received 2 new shipments of dining room furniture. See, Zeb, what makes this time of year so good is we're getting all the specials in plus the new merchandise. So the dining room sets are great because you can come in and see the new styles. We've got them in every size and every color. We've even got some of the taller ones for those that like more of the counter-height table. And we carry multiple manufacturers. And again, they're in stock so you can see them, same type of delivery, and these are great quality tables.
Absolutely. What are the hours that Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More is open?
From Monday through Friday, we're here from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m., and on Saturday, we're here from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., and we've got a great staff. They're very knowledgeable in furniture, in floor covering, and everything. We've got the best delivery guys that you can imagine. They're so courteous, and they take care of your delivery, and they do such a great job. And also, Zeb, one last note, we do also have available right now anywhere from 12 months to 48 months interest-free on any of those special purchases that you'd like to.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, save money and beautify and comfortize your home with the experts, and they are at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Jeff, thank you much, and I'll just bet you that I think I know where you're going to be next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yep, I'll be sitting next to you as we watch your grandsons playing some basketball, and they're doing a great job.
We're pretty proud, and you are too. And thanks, Jeff. We'll send everybody in to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Thanks much for being on the program.
Thanks, Zeb. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Great guy. Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Appreciate him. Okay, what else? Oh, Patterson's. My goodness sakes, yes, I want to tell you about electronics. Now, I am not a electronics guru wizard. No, anybody that knows me knows that's absolutely true. But I defer to the knowledge of Curtis and Lorena at Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. I mean, they've got everything in there for you. And after I've talked to Curtis and Lorena a couple of times, boy, I'll tell you what, I could learn a lot from these folks about all the home theater systems they've got, all your electronic needs, your video surveillance cameras, complete sound systems, car stereos and speakers, and oh boy, have they got all the new models in there. Televisions of all kinds. I mean, it's all there. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and they're waiting to serve you. I urge you to stop in and see some really, really nice people. And that's Patterson's Electronics at 421 East Main in Burley, or give them a call at 678-6997. Wonderful people. Again, a reminder, next Monday at 10:30, don't forget the Idaho Legislative Update, and we're going to be featuring Speaker of the House and Representative Scott Bedke on the program that's sponsored by Handy Truck Lines. Serving businesses in Idaho and the surrounding states, you can depend on Handy Truck Lines. They deliver. Right now, I'm going to deliver this back over to the main studios. Wheels, take it away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
You know, on this program, different times of the year, we have different sponsors and advertisers, and right now, going into the spring, we have this man that I consider a real live John Wayne. He's the real deal as a cowboy and a cattleman. Good morning, Cordell Sheridan. How are you?
I'm doing good, Zeb. How are you this morning?
Well, if I was any better, I couldn't stand it. You know, I've got to ask you, this is your 25th annual bull sale that's coming up on Saturday, March 7th, Cordell. Do you and your wife, Patty, realize what you've achieved? I mean, you're one of the foremost cattle sales, bull sales in the entire Northwest. That's quite an achievement.
Well, I've never really stopped to think about it. We just kind of do what we like. It's always been a passion of ours to raise good cattle.
Well, when you say raise good cattle, I mean, you've got the best of Gelbvieh and Angus and Balancer bulls. And I think for those that maybe aren't acquainted with some of those terminologies, Gelbvieh or Balancer, give us the explanation about those breeds.
Okay. Yeah, the Gelbvieh breed is a breed that's been in the United States since, like 72, I believe. And they came from Germany. Over there, they were a tri-purpose breed. They milked them. They were meat, had lots of muscling. And then they were also draft animals. They worked them. And so by doing that, the Gelbvieh cattle are really sound, feet and legs, because they wouldn't hold up as draft animals if they didn't have that. So it's carried through. The cattle we have here in America are just a little different. We've improved a few things on them, but and then we have the Angus cattle, which everybody is aware of those. The Balancers are a combination of the two breeds. Ideally, 50-50. It kind of picks up the best traits of both breeds and carries them through, but they can be 25 one way, 75 the other, either way. But they're working really well for us and for our customers. They're quite popular and have good carcass traits, and then have the good milking ability and things that the Gelbvieh cattle bring.
I'm going to tell you, Cordell, I don't know who does all your photography on your bulls, but the sample picture that I have here of a couple of the bulls showing the skeletal structure and the body content, the muscular activity, the shine and the sheen on these animals, I mean, these are top-notch bulls, of which are going to be selling on March 7th. How many head are going to go through the ring that day?
There'll be right at 80 head. Time we get there with them, seems like there's always one or two that fall out, but yeah, 80 head. And there'll be probably two-thirds of them will be Balancer bulls, and the rest of the Gelbvieh and then the Angus.
Now, 80 bulls, and you're going to have a lot of coming 2-year-olds and 50 yearlings. And the one thing that you offer that I think is really great for cattlemen to remember, you offer free delivery on those bulls up to 300 miles radius. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We'd like to get out and deliver the bulls and get to know our customers a little better that way. There's no way we can get around to talking to everybody on sale day. So I like to deliver, and if somebody's a little over 300 miles, we always work with them on that too. But it's been a good program for us.
Cordell, explain to my listeners and all the cattlemen out there about the first breeding season guarantee.
Okay. That's something that we've had for quite a while. We realized that the first breeding season is usually when bulls will get injured and or something happen to them, because those young bulls just aren't smart enough to stay out of the way of the big bulls. And so what it is, it's if anything happens to the bull, we'll replace him and take the injured bull back. If the disaster hits and the bull dies, we will cover those as well.
Wow. One thing, too, this is going to be at the Burley Auction Yard on March 7th, Saturday at 1 p.m. And one thing I've got to highlight, I've heard people say that the lunch that you put on and Patty puts together is absolutely phenomenal.
Well, she takes a lot of pride in that and tries to have a variety, not the same old mundane thing, but she usually puts together a pretty good lunch.
Now, Merv May's going to be your auctioneer, and I've said many, many times, I think he's the best doggone auctioneer in the business. He does a great job.
Well, he does, yeah. We've really got along well with Merv. I go to some of these big bull sales around the country. They have the high-powered auctioneers and ringmen that like to play games and pull tricks on people, and I don't believe in that kind of stuff. And Merv doesn't either. Everything's just straightforward, and it is what it is.
Now, what about information on the bulls as far as before the sale? Is there a catalog? Is it on the website? Give us that information.
Okay. There's a sale catalog, and it can be viewed online or downloaded online off of our website, and that is www.sheridancattle.com. And then we've got mailable ones, so if somebody wanted to give us a call or let us know, we can get one in the mail right away to them.
And that number to call is what?
208-430-5532.
Well, these bulls have been raised up in the mountains and the rocks, and they know how to handle themselves. And I'll tell you what, folks, this is going to be an outstanding bull sale. It's going to be the 25th annual bull sale for the Sheridan Ranch, Cordell and Patty Sheridan up in Elmo. And they're going to have the sale right there in Burley at the Burley Auction Yard on Saturday, March 7th. Sale starting at 1 p.m. Cordell, anything that I've missed, please help me.
Well, I think we've covered most of it. We run our cattle, just one quick thing, like most people run their commercial cattle. We don't pamper them. They run on the mountain in the summertime. The cows and calves are up there, and I've had a lot of customers compliment how well our bulls travel and handle range conditions, because that's where they were raised. They're not pampered in the pastures like some cattle are, so that's usually a plus.
I'll tell you what, one of the West's most outstanding bull sales. It's coming up on March 7th. Don't miss it. Saturday, March 7th at the Burley Auction Yard starting at 1 o'clock. The Sheridan Ranch 25th Annual Bull Sale. And you just heard it from a real live John Wayne cowboy, Cordell Sheridan. God bless you, man.
Thank you, Zeb. Have a great day.
You too, sir. Thank you. These people are so nice and so knowledgeable, and believe me, their cattle are exceptionally good. Don't miss that bull sale coming up at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, March 7th, Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Going to be a good one. Right now, let's, I got to tell you about this. I've got to tell you about Edith's Cafe. I'm drooling all over the microphone. Edith's Cafe, located at 144 East Highway 81 in Burley, right across from the golf course. And they told us that on Wednesday, yesterday, and today, Thursday, they have a special. Now listen to this, and you better get in there before they run out of it. Prime rib French dip sandwiches. Oh, sink your grinners into that one and close your eyes and know you're in heaven. Wow, that sounds good. All of this along with so many more menu choices at Edith's Cafe. Specials every day, delicious steaks. They do catering. What are you waiting for? Get on over today, right now, to Edith's Cafe and try that special, the prime rib French dip sandwich. Good at Edith's Cafe, 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. Time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Hello, Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, find out more, 324-7657, or you can go to their website and find out all about the delicious meats, www.scarrowsmeats.com. All the bacons, and all the sausages, and all the tri-tip, and all the pork ribs, and oh my goodness, bratwurst, all of this and more at Scarro's Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Expecting nice conditions for today and for tomorrow. By the weekend, maybe some snow showers. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Sunny skies and a calm wind out of the west today. We are expecting a high of 51 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 26. By tomorrow, sunny and mid-50s. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 36. By Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be picking up as gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We are expecting a high of 47 by Saturday night. Chance of rain and or snow showers in the evening. Cloudy skies, low of 27. Those rain and or snow showers could migrate their way towards Sunday as well. Partly sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 40. That's a look at your weather forecast for 7 a.m.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Again, that telephone number to call, 324-7657. And they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. I want to say thank you again. I don't say thank you enough to two people, actually three people, that made our little vacation we had over the last 3 weeks possible and really made it even easier. And that was Sharon Wilmot and Gina Jameson and Wheels over at our station. I absolutely thank them for all their help, and it's good to be back, but I will tell you that Deanna and I needed a little respite, and thank you for the excellent job that they did in keeping this program on the air. Want to remind you, too, about our major sponsor, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers for literally all your tire needs. I don't care if you've got a loader at the dairy that's got flat tires, backhoe, skid steer, whatever. Call them. They've got a great big service truck. Vroom! They'll be there to take care of you. And all your passenger car, SUV, and pickup tires. My goodness, all 7 locations serving you with the tires you need to drive safely. And along with that, the very best of brake service. I mean, highly trained technicians that really know their stuff. Front-end alignments, shocks and struts and batteries, all of this and more. But above all, the service they provide to you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, absolutely, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Now, Today is Lunch Bunch, and yours truly, so he doesn't get a speeding ticket, has to leave right now and get on down to Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley, and we urge you to be in attendance. We'd love to have you there. Lots of giveaways, lots of fun, and good food at Denny's Restaurant. Wheels is going to be there as soon as he closes up shop over at the studio, and I'm going to say goodbye for today and this week. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be, but the 4 words that mean the most: in God we trust. We'll see you next Monday at 8:06.